the YouTube chat in case people always join in over there and they're like, "What's the Zoom
Hello.
URL?" Hey, Jan, how's it going?
Yeah, fine. Thanks. How are you?
Fabulous.
Great. Thanks again for your help yesterday on my menu issue.
Oh, my
I
pleasure.
was uh, I was devastated. Oh, by the way, I've got an off topic for you, Joe.
What's
I
that?
saw on one of your example pages that you might be interested in soccer.
Yes, I
Yeah,
love
and I
soccer. Yep.
saw Bobby Wood.
Oh, yes, yeah, he played. Yeah, he's moving over here. He's playing in Utah now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he was playing in Hamburg at
Yep.
the HSV, the
Yes.
Hamburg Soccer Club.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
yeah. But it was not his best time, I think.
Yeah,
But
early on in his career, he was starting to be get like a big star, and then he kind of disappeared.
yeah,
I kind of forgot about him until
yeah,
recently when he started to come back to the U.S. So yeah,
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see.
yeah, yeah. Funny. By the way, may I ask you a question, Joe?
Yes.
Um, it's about an menu item issue I have on my side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just installed in top bar a drill down menu, which transforms into a drop down menu on medium.
Okay.
And I just tilt this menu to style the background on the menu items.
Mm-hmm.
It usually is on a black background. And if you hover over it, over a menu item, it turns into some kind of blue
Mm-hmm.
background and white typography.
Text. Okay.
I have three menu items, which is the first one is home, the second one is portfolio,
Mm-hmm.
which has a submenu
Mm-hmm.
and several items, and the third one is blog. And if I go on portfolio, the home item is still shown as active, although I didn't check mark active active menu, I think, in the inspector. So
So
this
you
is,
you you manually built out the menu, I assume.
pardon
You
me?
you use the menu builder, right? So you added the three menus manually. Why don't you show us something and we can have a look at it?
Okay, just a second. Um, okay, I try to share my screen. I don't know. There we go. That's desktop 2. Hmm. Go. Okay, I didn't allow Zoom to share my desktop.
Oh yeah,
So I
you're
have,
gonna have to allow that, and then you're gonna have to restart Zoom. So,
yes.
yeah, you'll have to leave and come back, and then when you come back, we'll help you out.
Yeah, okay,
Okay,
great. Thanks.
sweet.
See you soon.
How's everyone else doing?
Peace. Thank you.
Jeff, horrible to see
Yeah.
you as usual. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank
coming
you.
on.
I'll just bring the age up a bit,
Oh, okay, excellent.
especially you
You're just
youngsters.
trying to raise the average age. I get it. Nice, nice. Trying to raise that bar. Good on
Didn't
you.
we
Good
just
on
see you on Friday?
Oh yeah, that
Well,
was fast.
Okay, yeah, I'm back in. I have another try. Yeah,
Well,
it
there he is. Yes.
seemed to work.
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay,
Here we are.
great. Do you see my desktop?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so this is the portfolio side,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm actually on, but it shows that the home is active instead of portfolio.
Okay. So show me Rapid Weaver. Show me that
Okay.
menu stack.
Okay, just a second. Portfolio, the menu stack over here. Okay, here we are.
So home isn't
this is
set to active,
unchecked.
correct? But then in the drill down, you have style active menu.
Style active menu, which should be correct as well. I have two swatches down there. Menu style 2. I was just trying around, but this doesn't help either.
And on
And if I
portfolio,
go to
so you don't have active menu set on any of those menus, correct? Any of the menu items?
I have. If you just have a look at my site styles.
No, in the menu stack, I mean.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So the active item is.
Yep. I get the style and background hover, and submenus. It should be everything okay.
Is this online?
Pardon me? It is online, yeah.
That page is published, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, why don't I'll share my screen, and then we can troubleshoot it here. Why not?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
What was the website again? What was the URL?
It's brandshape.de.
Get rid of these Zoom windows. Brand, there it is.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, so if I go to the portfolio page, home is still active. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's set to active for some reason.
Yeah.
Because if I click home right now, where does it go? Okay, so if I click on I'm on portfolio.php. Oh, interesting. Okay. What I recommend you do is always name your pages index.php. So instead of this page being portfolio.php, the folder should be portfolio and the page should be index.php. Okay.
Yeah.
And that will fix that particular scenario.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll fix it. And that'll just be better. I definitely recommend doing that so that, instead of naming your pages, about.php or something like that, always name it, give it a folder of portfolio and then give the page name to be index.
Okay.
And that way your URLs will look a little nicer too, because then it will just be brandshape.me/portfolio.
Yeah.
Right. And then for branding, you would do /portfolio/ that's just an anchor. Never mind.
Okay.
Okay,
great.
So yeah, definitely do that. That'll fix this particular scenario. That active page linking really only works. The dynamic really works if the pages are named index.
Okay.
So yeah, there we go.
And that's the reason why it works on the blog page. If you click on blog, the home isn't active because blog is in its extra folder.
There we go. Yep, that's why.
Yep. Okay. Thanks a lot. Great.
No problem.
That just cost me 4 hours, 5 hours, with no result. Damn. Oh.
I thought it was actually going to be tricky. I'm glad I looked and noticed that you weren't using the index.php. So
okay, perfect. Yeah. Thanks for that, Joe. Great.
No, my pleasure.
Always nice to figure it out. Here.
I didn't have to do any tricky stuff. I thought I was going to have to go into the browser inspector and start breaking some brains in here. And some cool foundation updates this week.
Really?
Let's see. Yeah. There were 8. Yeah, it had nothing groundbreaking, but I think it was kind of interesting. Some interesting updates. Here, let me go to the release notes and refresh my memory here. Oops.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of releases, Joe, I think somebody else reported it. I've had this trouble too in Rapid Weaver where it shows there's an update to Foundation, the theme, or the stacks, and you update it and it doesn't look like it. There's no progress bar, and it looks like you still haven't updated it. Under
Yeah.
the update, the
I'm-
red circle, you got to quit and open it up again, and you're never sure if it, and do it again and again. So I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah. I don't know the issue behind that. I really don't know. Unfortunately, I have zero visibility into what's going on in the background there. That's all up to, I'm not even sure if it's Rapid Weaver or Stack's fault. I don't know. But something is timing out in the background. All I can say is I know people do it, and then what they do is they just let that update window sit there for a few minutes, and then when they restart Rapid Weaver, everything is updated, and it doesn't show that an update's available any longer. So something's timing out. I really don't know what it is. I even upgraded my Amazon to their, like, they have like a new accelerated service that, you get faster download speeds. I pay more money for it, but I thought that might solve it. And I don't know, some people said it's better for them and some people not. So it's just kind of a hit or miss sort of thing. It seems to be people on slower internet connections have the issue. But I don't know. It's an issue. Isaiah's aware of it as well. And it's on his radar of things to try to fix in the future, and to make better. But as of right now, I don't have a solution for you, unfortunately.
That's okay. It's not critical.
Yeah.
It worked when the team does update very good. And if I don't update the stacks and the foundation,
yes,
but first the foundation and then the stacks, then it works.
Oh, so if you update the theme first and then the stacks after, it seems to be better for you. Interesting.
Yes, but,
there should be zero relation there between those, but yeah, if that works out, someone else can give that a shot.
The team works always, but in Rapid Weaver you have 2 updates.
Yes, because Rapid Weaver controls updating of the themes, and then stacks controls the updating of the stacks.
Yes, so, but in the stacks there are 2. You have the and the second one, if I update the second one first, then it goes very good.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, but like I said, Isaiah is working on it. So, or it's on his radar at least. He's working on a big update. He thought he would have a beta out this week. Maybe I'm leaking information I should, but he's been working on a bunch of crashes and stuff like that. So hopefully by the end of this month, we'll have a nice new version of stacks to play around with. That should be, I'm not sure what he's been doing. He's like locked himself in the closet. I haven't heard from him very much. So he's been extremely quiet, which means he's like probably in like hardcore geeky mode. Like, so yeah, he tends to like be invisible for a while. And then like magically he has like all these things fixed that we've always wanted. I'm like, whoa, so anyway, hopefully soon we'll have some a nice stacks update coming up. All right. So Foundation this week. Yesterday I just thought I'd bang out a cool little update, and I came out, this is definitely an edge case thing, but if you ever have a select, let me open up a project. Hopefully I didn't delete it. I think I did, but let's try this out. And I delete, I don't need this right now. I did delete it. Shoot. Okay, that's fine. We'll recreate it. By the way, there was a bug in AD switch. I think some people here were experiencing that. I fixed that color issue as well. All right, we'll delete that. Let me just add let me just create something really quick. Just add a form to the page really quick. We'll just add a contact form. We'll extract that. And then let's go ahead and add a select box. where's select box? Okay. So, and we'll just, for speed, I'm just going to add the US states. Okay, as all the options. Okay, so the problem a lot of times with forms, oh, I'm playing around with this new like transcription service that like automatically, so I actually put in my video with you, Jody, from last week. I threw that in there and it like transcribed the whole thing. So yeah, I'm playing around with that. But all right, hold on one second. Let me get rid of that so it doesn't bother us here.
That
Right.
seemed to be a popular Joe and Jody show, I gather.
Oh, the Joe and Jody show. Look at that. I like that. Okay, so this select box, you know, here you can select a state, right? Now, with this select value, the value, like if we were to email this form out, the value for this field is the state's abbreviation. So it's like for California, it's CA, right? And this is just an example. You can have any select thing, right? But there was no way before to get the actual value that you see in the select box, right? Because when you add in a select item, let's just add a new option here. Okay, you have an option and a value. You have a label and a value, and they can be totally different things. So, like for example, here, let me just add something to the top of this select box. Let's just do my super duper option, and let's say the value here I want to put in the price, right? So I would put like $1,000. Okay. And let's say in my email, when someone clicked this super duper option, the value is 1,000, but I actually want to see this as well, the label. And that wasn't possible to get. Well, you could use Pi, but it was like very techie, very difficult, okay, to get access to this label. And so I came up with a really just a simple implementation of how to do that. And here, I'll show you now. Okay, so in this case, let's go ahead and here, I'm going to call this select box state because these are US states. Okay, so I'm going to call this select field state. And let's go ahead and let me configure this email action really quick. From address to me. Dot nert. Yeah. Dot nert. Okay. So this is going to email me, and then inside of our email template, we want to put in our state. You know what? I always forget you have to hold down option to get returns in here. It drives me nuts. State : state. Okay. So I'm going to publish this. Let's publish that. Open up my email app really quick. Okay. And let's go to sandbox.joe.net. Okay, so now we have our form. Let me just fill this out really quick. Label is California, and test. I'm gonna hit submit. Boop. Okay, so let's wait for that email. Okay, got my email. So we look at the email that came through. You'll see that the state says CA. Okay, because when I selected California, the value of that was CA, not California. Okay, so how can we access the actual label, right? So to access the label, we will do. I'm just going to add it into this. So you do state. So you do the name of your field, okay, dash label. Okay, so all
That's
you do
too complicated, Joe.
Dash label.
Way too complicated.
Okay. So it's the same syntax. You just use the name. All you do is you add a dash label to it. Okay. So I'm gonna let's go ahead and republish this page.
Wow.
Go here. And just fill me in. S2, submit. And there we go. So now I have the value and the label.
Very, very cool.
Okay. So yeah, there we go. I mean, can't believe I didn't think of this earlier. I mean, obviously that looks simple. There was obviously more to the code to actually implement that. But yeah, I think I've made it as easy as possible for you guys to access that label. And what's kind of cool is sometimes people wanted to access the labels from Pi. You would use the same exact syntax in Pi as well.
Very cool.
So if you know, if Pi uses very similar syntax where you can use the curly brace in the name field. So if you want to ever access the label from Pi, you would just use -label as well. So yeah, I think it's really good. I'm really happy with that. It's been a solution or an issue that people have, you know, periodically have been requesting for quite a long time. So I'm glad I found a solution. Before I was going to add this as a feature directly into Pi, but then I was like, you know what? It would be good just to have it straight in Foundation 6. So there we go. All right, let's see. What was it? What else was cool? So Jody, for you, okay, just for you, if you right click on any stack and say show online help, voila, it takes you directly to the demo.
Oh, good. So it wasn't that hard to implement. I thought that was a quick and easy, from my point of view. Don't know anything about what it took on your end. But
It took about an hour or so of just boring copy pasting of URLs, but yeah, hey, we got it done. So yeah, if you right click on any of the right click or on any of the Foundation 6 stacks, do show online help, it will take you directly to that demo for that particular stack.
And another idea occurred to me, Joe. I'm trying to think of ways to make Foundation 6 more user friendly without putting you into a pretzel with contortions and coding. I'm going to have to review our session actually, because I'm starting to understand what you called utilities. Aren't they really, and could you possibly rename them? Why call them utilities? They're really classes presets, aren't they? They're presets for the classes.
Yes, they're class presets. I think the term utility class, they're utility classes that you can use, right? So they are classes. So I don't call them utilities, I call them utility classes, right?
Right.
So I think, I don't know, that terminology made sense to me because they're utilities that you can use.
Scary. A new user, it's like, oh my God, what the heck is that? I don't want to touch it. And the thing is that you've actually created that.
The problem with renaming those now is I've used the term utility classes for the past 18 months. And if I rename them now, everything that I've ever mentioned about utility classes for the past 2 years is going to confuse people because they're not going to know what those are any longer.
All
so
right.
I think changing that now, I think now that you understand them, great.
You've gone over that term. I understand them yet. I don't understand them yet.
Well, you understand what they are. Let's just say that.
Let's put it this way. My concept of what they are has been clarified by about 25%. I really have to go back. But when you refer to them, maybe, or as you're introducing and working with them in future whatevers, call them presets. Start to get into people's minds that this is something you have built for their convenience. This is not some sort of added techno developer thing that they should not pay attention to. This is really something they should not be afraid of. And so the idea of a preset, and somehow include that in, or refer back to, oh, we have a preset for this menu item or this stack or this whatever swatch.
Okay. Interesting terminology.
Because people understand presets.
Sure. Cool. I like that. It's an interesting idea. By the way, I also renamed all the little labels in the menu swatch just for you two.
What do you mean you renamed them?
Because you were confused that it said links instead of text.
Oh, yeah.
So yep, all that's been fixed as well.
Oh, terrific. And anything that you can do to get out of the developer mindset and into your average user is wonderful, because obviously you cannot restructure this. So I think it would be great to actually have a live stream on people thinking in advance, coming to the live stream with ideas on how to make this more user-friendly to someone coming to it either for the first time or trying to graduate from Foundation 1. Because there might be ideas like the one we came up with to refer you right back to the online help that you might not have thought of. But if you're taking it to an outside perspective, there might be some value in that.
100%. You're correct. There was I don't know if you guys saw, there's a pretty epic thread now on the RapWeaver forums that's been going on for a long ways. I think we're almost at 100 comments now. So I don't think I've ever started a thread that's a thread that's gone for 100 comments yet. So that's my goal. I'm going to keep going until we hit that 100. But it's been very productive, to be honest with you. I took quite a few jabs, but I deflected some or took them like a champ. Took it right on the chin, and I'm open to feedback. And like I've said before, I'm not perfect. I'm just trying to make some cool stuff for all of us. So hopefully, we're just continual improvement. That's
totally
all we can do.
understood. But I think the issue becomes that there is, as you recognize, there's a very high level of frustration out there. There are people who want to be able to understand and use Foundation 6 and are having a lot of trouble.
Well, and how can I say this nicely? I'm not sure there's a real nice way to say this. There are also some people that they don't want to put in the time as well to learn. I do actually feel that sometimes, like that, there have been a lot of people that, early on they were right. I only had like hour-long videos. So, gradually over time I have, I think I have 25 to 30, 5 to 10 minute videos. So shorter videos on, topics. And then I now have the demo site, and it just seems like a lot of those people that they just keep finding other things to make an excuse not to use it or not to take the time. They really need the maybe the one-on-one hand-holding. I don't know, but there is a point where you just need to dive in and do something, right? And whether or not you fumble or but I think that the resources are there for you to learn. And obviously I'm very wide open to feedback and helping people even on a one-on-one basis. So to make sure that everyone can enjoy Foundation 6. And so anyway, I do think that just putting yourself out there and just doing it. A lot of people they get into this analysis paralysis, right? Where they're overwhelmed by there is. I can understand that as well. There's so much videos on Foundation 6. There's too much now, right? Where it's maybe people don't know where to start, right? And they're either that or they're just like they're overwhelmed. And just dive in and build something, and to be honest, like you can build a pretty nice website with Foundation 6 without ever adding a swatch to the page, period. Right? I mean, you can get the entire structure of your website done without ever adding a swatch to the page.
You think that way, Joe, but a user coming to this for the first time does not think that way. And I can see where there's a delicate balance between you having created something, knowing all the power that you could deliver, but in such a manner that it's too overwhelming for the user. And so now you're going back to try and say, to try and educate people and move them into this. But the issue was, I think in the beginning, if you had taken into account how to structure this in perhaps a different way, it may be too late now, how to structure it in a different way, you may have created something that's structured a little bit differently. Because, you've created a child that only the mother could love. So it is a challenge. And so I think now there's a lot of backstepping and how do I inform people?
I mean, yes, I
Can-
did. Maybe you could argue I rushed the release of Foundation 6 out. But you could also argue that at some point you have to release it at some point. That was my, feelings at the time was, yes, I have to release this out. I think it was ready, and it wouldn't be where it is today, as mature and powerful as it is today. And contrary to, maybe this discussion and, that forum thread, I think very user friendly as well. And the more I use it, the more I still feel it is the best way to make a website, right? And yes, I am working on, trying to retrofit back and see how we can make, learning the framework better, maybe organizing, coming up with a better getting started playlist or something like that, right? Because there is an overwhelming amount of learning or video sessions on it. I mean, I think a majority of my live streams the entire 12 months, so the last 52 live streams I've done, most of them are at some point about Foundation 6, right? So that alone right there is probably 60 some odd hours of Foundation 6 learning, right? And each one might have some nuggets in it. So yeah, I can definitely see that as being overwhelming, right? Especially if the title of a particular live stream might not be specific,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yep.
Joe, can I just say that when I started using Rapid Weaver and Foundation 6, I didn't have a clue, not a clue. And look what I've created now. I'm absolutely amazed.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have any background in computing at all. I just got in there and got my fingers in there and started experimenting. And that's,
exactly. And that is, I think,
that's
the
way I
learning
learned.
Tool.
But you got gray hair.
Hey, I didn't say it this time, Jeff. I didn't say it.
Who said that? Who said that?
Well, Joe, one thing is clear to me is you need a lot of glue on the butt. I started Foundations, when was that? December 2020.
Yeah.
And I'm at a good level in terms of implementing Foundation 6. I'm running 2 websites now on that. But one thing is clear, you need a lot of time. And I believe in one thing, and that is, if you're not battling, you're not learning.
Yeah.
I may not have a lot of time. I mean, I'd have 60 hours.
Yeah. Again, but you don't have to watch all of them. I understand that. The people that, come in and join and watch the lives, even if it's just in the background while they're doing other things, maybe they learn a couple, a little tidbit here and there, I know that's not the greatest answer, right? But,
It may not be a good analogy, but it's kind of like a book without an adequate index. You might have indexes geared to different experience levels, where you might have an index for the beginner, an intermediate, and a developer. Just as a thought.
Yeah, organizing that stuff is definitely something I'm thinking about. Actually, that little auto translation service that you saw for a glimpse there, it's something I'm looking at to see if can I transcribe it. Also, Chris has created a little a website that basically he's added a bunch of the Foundation 6 YouTube videos and the YouTube transcriptions of them into Total CMS, which essentially makes the entire thing searchable, which is interesting. And there's a post on the community where, Chris is, if anyone's willing to help out, kind of a community ran thing he's built. So that's kind of cool. If anyone's willing to help out there, that could be interesting. So yeah, we're trying to come up with solutions. Over time, we'll get there. Yeah.
For today, I use an old stack, and this old stack has an option to show help inside the stack. Is it possible to add this to Foundation 6 without uploading this stuff, this help text to the website, or
you kind of lost me. So you have help
Great.
text inside what? Sorry, you lost me there.
inside the stack. There's this checkbox. You can click it, and then it open on top of the stack a help section.
Oh yeah.
And maybe this would be interesting for Foundation 6 stacks, to have a short list which swatch is necessary to change the text color, or maybe to change the size, or some other informations. I'm
Okay.
not sure.
Okay.
Does it make it slower or bigger, or?
Yeah. Okay,
you know,
cool.
Joe, that actually tied into what Wolf is talking about. I was thinking of that myself in terms of, okay, you've got an absolute blank page. You're coming to this, you're going to create something. If you were to, you need a menu. If you were to just put one of the menu stacks on the page, and then what would open out is almost like a call out window saying, these are the choices of, these are the menu stacks. These are the swatches or utility classes you can apply to them. And there's this call out that opens up with everything kind of right there that you could use to set that stack.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, there's literally an infinite number of combinations, right? I mean, that's kind of what's interesting about swatches is maybe someone wants round corners on a menu item, right? But maybe you, Jody, you'd be like, why the hell would I ever want that? And someone else wants some other off-the-wall swatch to apply. I mean, swatches are really used. You could apply them to anything, right? So, there's no way I can even come up with a definite list of things that you could only use on a menu stack, because literally you can use all of the swatches on everything, right? So,
okay, what about a generic guide where you go to, okay, you put a stack or a swatch or whatever on the page, and this thing opens up with just a guide saying, here are some presets, here's some padding, here are some, in other words, what you have created in other places. What you have created in other places comes into one location. So every time you put something on there, you're referring them back to the larger concept of what they need to work in, and then they can start to refine it. I'll have to come up with an example.
So as Scott was saying, that's kind of what the templates can be used for, right? I think there's, I do plan on coming out with more templates in the template pack, but those are a great resource, for having, pre-done layouts for you. And actually I am working on a completely new, more pro level template set. There's currently over 100 of them. And this is actually the first time I've ever told anyone about it. I've been working in secret on this in the background. And there's a lot of work to get them organized and standardized, but there's currently I have over 100 templates of just really nice layouts, pre-baked, pre-done for you, using the Foundation 6 stacks. I will continue to have the free templates. This pack will not be free. A lot of work's been put into it, but I do have planned updates for the free pack as well. I'll have a lot of those. So I think the templates are a great way, for that, so that you can, quickly add it. There are some menus, you say menu, like for example, I have one here. Instead of talking, let's show, right? It's visual. Okay. So if you have the templates, I have a dedicated group for them right here. Okay. So these are all the Foundation 6 templates. And let's say, for example, we go to navigation. Okay. Let's say like I wanted a mega menu, or actually like where's that hero banner one?
I'll use a regular
hero header plus menu. This is a great example, right? So I add this to the page here. Okay. And I extract it. And if we just preview this really quick, there we go. I mean, look, I have a hero header all I did is add this to my page. I have a hero header with an image in the background and a nice little menu that kind of is, situated on the bottom of my hero header. This is a common thing that people want, right? So, this is just, an easy, quick thing. And here you can see all the swatches done to build it. And it's all done with just, foundation stacks. So, these templates are great, not only, and I try to describe what they are, right? But these are a great learning resource as well, to see, how was this built, right? And it was made 100% with Foundation 6 stacks.
Yeah, taking apart templates is a very good way to learn.
Yes. And some of them are some are very simple. Like these social buttons are probably very, these are relatively simple. Oops, there we go. Right. So we extract that, it's just, I just have some swatches that define the color for hover and background. And then in the link here, it's just a square button with a on awesome icon in there. That's it, right? So this one's a relatively simple one. And a lot of them, I try to do these pens to kind of, give you a full explanation of what's going on. So even in this header one, I try to give you a little bit of overview of what is going on there, right? And this particular one actually does use the fit text swatch to make this this text grow dynamically, right? So like if this one, it shrinks, the header shrinks down to fit. So that's what fit text does. So that one, this one swatch does use a non-Foundation 6 stack that does have a here's the fit text. It comes with a swatch. So if you have Foundation 6 and fit text, you'll get this fit text swatch if you have both installed, and then you can use that on various things.
Oh.
Okay. So anyway, does anyone else have any other questions? We're just kind of rambling on about various things, but if anyone's come on with a particular question, please feel free to. I see James. Is that did you have your hand rose?
I did.
Oh, you're being so polite. Look at you. See, all of us are just talking over each other. And you're just sitting there with your hand up. Like you were that kid in class, huh, James?
Proper Zoom etiquette. So I really want to say I appreciate what Jody brought to the table last week, because I've been involved in the Rapid Weaver community for a while, and I've been involved in Foundation for a while. But it wasn't until last week in Jody's session when I too, after rewatching it, had the understanding that utilities become and are presets. So one of the things that I think is really important is that you are a really incredible developer and you have a really vast, broad mind of understanding how things work. Mm-hmm. And you have a particular way of teaching and getting across your information. But as a new user coming to Foundation, there are what seems to be two groups of you folks. There are people who like to tinker until they figure out how to make it work. Mm-hmm. And there are those groups that just aren't people who like to tinker. Yes. I like to know how to get to what I'm going to get to by maybe visually watching it.
Yes.
So after last week's session, I thought, maybe it's important now to rather maybe in the Rapid Weaver community forum or somewhere to create a space for other people to show how to do quick build outs using Foundation through maybe a 10-minute video that they submit so that different people can present the information in different ways, so that maybe a person who's not comprehending what you are explaining in the way you are communicating it has an aha moment that suddenly goes, oh my God, all this time I didn't get that. Because I think that there are a lot of different ways to communicate information.
Sure.
And not always is this the one teacher who created whatever is the 100%. Best one to deliver the information.
Cool.
One of the reasons that they have writers on TV shows and talent who presents whatever the writers present. So maybe it's time to create a space where because I will tell you, I am that, you keep saying, just jump in and do it. Well, I do, and I break everything. And then that upsets me and frustrates me and makes me shut down and then step away because I don't understand why I'm not getting it, because it should be a lot more simple than that.
Sure.
And maybe if there's other people who could maybe explain that process without having a template, because going in and having a template and then having to read it all, what we want to know is, how did you get to what you wanted to create, and why did you make the choices that you got and made to get there? And not everybody's going to make the same choices. And maybe it could be presented that some person presents a way to do something and then puts the challenge out and says, now, how would you do this? Present your video or present your methodology. So at least it creates a different conversation of how are the different ways that we get from California to New York. Because we all have the ultimate destination of being New York, but we all may have a different way of getting there, or California, wherever you want to be. Tahiti, wherever you want to be. But I just think that maybe it's important to open that door of opportunity. And maybe that's just me, because I'm a visual learner. And if you teach me visually something and explain to me why you did what you did to get there, I suddenly have the aha moment. I'm like, oh my God, that's so easy. But if you go through the technical aspect of explaining and the jargon and the whoop, sometimes it's just right over my head. And I'm not a not intelligent person. It's just that you work on a stream of logic that is different than some of us who work on the stream of creativity.
Fair enough. So what can I do to support you in that?
I think it would be wonderful for you to create maybe a space on Weaver Space Community, create an call to action to the community, just to see what maybe it creates for people. Maybe if there's anybody who wants to create a video of a 10-minute flow of whatever it is, whatever is the most popular thing that people want that they don't know how to do, but just need to be shown how to do it. And you don't have the time to do it. You don't have time, but there's a lot of people in the community who want to share their experience, but also don't know how to do that. You know, I worked as a volunteer coordinator for a really long time. And as a volunteer coordinator, the people who show up want their time valued, and they want it recognized, and they want to be able to highlight and showcase what they're really good at. And I think there's a lot of people in the community who are really, really great at what they do and just want to be given the space to showcase it. And maybe you allowing space in the Weaver Space community to do that, and a call to action would open that door.
Okay, interesting. Jody, I saw your hand raised.
Yes, because I thought one of the ways you could do it is if you open up a space, put out the call to the community, but break it down into this week or for the next 2 weeks, functionality. We're going to look at different ways of creating menus and navigation. And then people they have that task, and then they can go and they say, well, this is how I did it for this website. And, you know, make it a 10-minute video or I don't know, maybe not everybody can record it or something. So that's another issue, or step-by-step in an explanation, but assign a task, at least just to get going, and then say, okay, what is the next topic besides menu and navigation? What would you like to see? How to handle videos or how to handle something. So we can come up with, and people can suggest it. But I think what James is talking about is right. You have been the primary fulcrum for educating everybody on foundation. But I think what you can do is turn to your community who is putting it to work and have them help you so we can all help each other.
A rising tide raises all boats, right?
Yeah, and Gary's been slacking a lot lately.
Yeah, Gary has been. That's so true. Gary Wan, the slacker.
Where is he?
Where is he? That's right. Where is he?
He got his second COVID shot yesterday. I bet you he's flat on his back today. He's probably not feeling too great, I would think.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference.
Oh, really?
I've had both mine. Both
Oh,
mine.
really?
No troubles.
I've had some people that said they had no problems, and other people I know that they got their second one and they were toast for a day or two.
Nothing at all.
So you're a manly man, Jeff.
That can do all things. It could be some sort of curated YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many people would be interested in creating a YouTube channel. I'd be happy to support anything. If anyone if anyone wants to jump on and help Chris out with his little project, I honestly, I'm here to help support anybody, and I will do what I can to do that. I'm happy to create spaces and whatnot if we need that.
I think one of the important things, Joe, is that people need to be known that they have permission to step up. And they don't feel that in your space, because it's your space, that they always have permission to do that. I know the Weaver Space community is one space where we all reach out to help each other. But if you presented the call to action as the leader and creator and supporter and tribal person behind Foundation, and said, I need my community to help others in the community, and it would help me and free up my time because it would allow me to also have option to create more ideas for you. I just think it's an opportunity that people just need to be given permission to be able to show up. And they also have to be asked.
Yes. Okay.
I think you'll be quite surprised how many people, there's a lot of really strong organized people within the organization that you've created. And there's a lot of teachers and educators and people who have a really good understanding of flow. And even the idea that Jody just presented of creating a weekly workshop, that's a lesson plan idea. There's plenty of teachers out there who have years of experience in creating lesson plans. I think that even concept could be done with a survey out to what are the most important things as a newbie that you would like to know, so that even from that, you could create a playlist of what you would like to have created by others, so that gives you more free time to do what you'd like to do.
Cool. Okay.
Like garden, build stuff, work in your garage.
Spend time with
Actually,
your
the rest
family.
of this afternoon, I'm going to be painting cabinets. Oh, boy.
Yay!
Like build TCMS 3.
Ha! Actually,
That's a Friday plug, Jeff. Anyway, thanks for listening on that. I thought
my pleasure. Thank you for contributing. I appreciate that. Oh, yesterday I released Scroll Page, by the way. It's officially out there. If anyone check it out, it's a nice little it's things where if you're at that, like a hero header, and you click down and it'll scroll to a particular, scroll up to a part of your page. Or if you want, if you scroll all the way down and you want it to click to the very top of your page, just those little, either in the middle or on the side of the page, and it's an arrow to go up or down. It's actually a really nice stack. Nick did a good job on it. And so, yeah, that's re-released as of yesterday. It's a nice one. Works in any theme, Foundation and whatever else you're using out there. So.
Everyone, I got to dip out. Just want to say hi and bye. And catch everyone later.
Thanks for popping in, Jody. I appreciate it.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Well, sorry, Joe, what was that? Swatch scroll page?
Scroll Page. It's not a swatch. It's a new stack. Oh, it's a new to me stack. It was a Nick Cates one.
Oh, right.
Yeah, here, let's
Joe, did you re-release Velvet?
Yes, I did. I think I did that last week.
I'm just looking for it on Weaver Space.
Yeah. So on Weaver Space, if you go to stacks,
Yeah.
it should be right here. Scroll page. Or I'll put the link in the chat. When you share your screen, Zoom hides the chat. Drives me bonkers. There you go. And so yeah, if you let's go view the demo. So it's this little, this little doohickey. So if you click on it, it'll go to a particular part of the page. Or if we go to demo 2, this one is if you scroll. So this one is if you scroll back up, it shows when you scroll up. So it only shows when you're scrolling up. So like, a lot of apps do that. Demo 3, there's just showing that how you do different style options. This one's a square and it's on the side of the browser and stuff like that. And you can combine scroll up and scroll down. So this one shows when you're scrolling down the page or when you're scrolling up the page. So there we go. So yeah, it's a really nice stack.
When I search on Weaver Space, I'm not getting it.
It might be Safari has been really caching local storage lately. And so yeah, if you visited my site recently, right before I unveiled it last night, then it's probably caching the data. Because I guess, Errol, let me talk about what's going on. So Total CMS 2, this site is running on Total CMS 2, and what it does is to make things faster is the API call that pulls in all of this product data. Okay, it's basically the API call is cached in the browser in something called local storage, and it seems like in the last update of Safari, like they cache that a lot more than they used to. Yeah, empty the cache or restarting your browser sometimes might need to happen to see some of the latest data. So luckily it only affects my site, and I don't have 1,000 websites running it right now, so I'm not too stressed about it. But yeah, it's definitely something I need to rethink when I ultimately ship this to everybody else.
That's in Firefox as well.
Firefox, okay. So I haven't even launched it in Firefox. So let's go to Firefox. Oops. Stacks. Strange.
Yeah. Well.
If you're feeling adventurous, one thing if you wanted to test it out, if you open up the Dev Inspector, this is going to get geeky here really quick. If you go to console, okay, so it's not hard to do. Let me make the screen bigger. So you open up the Dev Inspector and go to console, and then what you do is you type local storage. Oops. Local storage dot clear, and you have to put parentheses, and that will completely destroy everything in Safari's local storage for Weaver Space at least.
All right.
Yeah. That'd be, if you want to test that right now, it'd be interesting to see if it fixes for you. But
just hold it.
Is that only for the active tab?
No, it should be for local storage, goes across all tabs, so it should yeah. And you could probably do session storage dot clear as well if you wanted to be like super stringent. But like if I here, this is going into like, I wasn't planning on showing any of this today, but why not? So if you go to the storage tab inside the Dev Inspector, you'll see that there's cookies, local storage, and session storage. And so in local storage, you'll notice that like you'll see here, it's collections products. So this is collections are like a total CMS term, total CMS 2 term, and then products is my like CMS ID. And in here is all the data for everything. It's just a huge amount of data. So it's stored. So you can actually go in there and you can peruse through and see.
It's appeared now, Joe.
Oh, there we go.
In Firefox, it's appeared.
Cool. So anyway, so yeah, that's ToolSMS 2 does some pretty advanced stuff, but I need to obviously tweak it for some new browser updates apparently. So but yeah.
Okay.
So anyway. Cool.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Any other questions before we call it, guys? I know we've been on here for an hour or so already. Time flies.
I maybe have one question.
Sure.
I just posted on Weaverspace some kind of wish list. You sometimes have some fancy shortcuts and so on, like the double click issue on stacks, which minimizes the actual stack shown in the inspector, which is great. I love this shortcut. Is there a possibility to, if you just get into site styles and you have several swatches and utility swatches and so on and so on.
Why don't you share your screen and show me what you got? Show me your setup so we can give you some pointers on maybe how we can organize it better.
Yeah, just a second. Here we are. So this is site styles. And if I just looking for, for some spacing and pixel parameters, etc., I just have to scroll all the way down and I look up 32 or 40 or whatever, and then I have to scroll all the way up and go back. And
so I do have a fix for that.
Great. Perfect.
Okay. So inside shelf, okay. Or for actually in your stacks library, search for size chart, I think, or just search for chart in their stacks library. There we go. Add size chart to shelf.
Okay, but it's not only the size chart. It's just if I'm going all the way down.
Okay.
Not only for example, for gutters.
And now also I see that you're it looks like you're showing detailed swatches all the time, which makes that really tall, right? For one thing, right? I mean, do you really need to see all of your styles all the time? Is it helping you that much?
I don't know. I just
yeah, so inside site styles, it looks like you have detailed swatches turned on. So click on site styles. Okay. And uncheck detailed swatches. Okay.
It's still a lot.
It's still a lot.
Now,
yes.
Wouldn't it be possible to just get this header menu, whatever, with the back, just some kind of sticky, or that is always there?
That's something we could talk to Isaiah about. That's out of my control.
Okay. It would be nice, I think.
Okay. That's interesting feedback. I would send that to Isaiah. It's a pretty interesting idea on making that back button fixed. I could understand that.
Or just a shortcut on the keyboard, or I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. Is there a shortcut for that? So if you go into here, I'll show you, if anyone doesn't know, click on the preferences in the stacks toolbar. It's on the top, like where the library is. It's at the top of the window. No, top of the window. To the right. Keep going. Right there.
Here we are.
All right. Click on the shortcuts. So these are all keyboard shortcuts inside stacks. So if anyone wants to know those, there are keyboard shortcuts. But there isn't one for the back button.
No.
which I think would be good feedback.
Yeah.
I recommend sending an email to Isaiah. While I send a lot of feature requests and bug reports, so when a customer does it, it has a little bit more impact than when I do it. So I recommend that you send it.
Okay.
Because I send a lot.
Okay.
So when one comes in that isn't from me, I think it has a little bit more weight sometimes.
Okay. What is Isaiah's address?
Just send it to support@yourhead.com.
Support. Okay. Great.
Other things that you could do is, you know, a lot of times what I'll do is, let me share my screen. I did this, I showed this last week as well, but we'll show it again. Let me open up this project file. This is the right page. Okay. So, on this particular page, if we look at my site styles partial, okay, we'll see that it's pretty small, right? There is no scrolling, right? And it's pretty small. Now, why is that? So a couple things. First off, you know, like the font families, you know, the font family swatches do take up a lot of space, but I put them in a pen, and then I organize these things that are a little bit more just inside of a pen. I put the class that they're all in. So like this is BG. So I know this pen is all about BG icon. And if you look here, all of these swatches are related to that one thing, right? So everything that's for this BG icon class is going to be right inside of this pen. Yeah. Okay. So that's one way of organizing things that you could do, is group things inside of a pen, and then you can quickly hide everything inside of the pen, right? Next thing is, I don't put everything inside site styles, right? Because, you know, like I talked about last week, this web page is built into, you know, every web page has distinct sections, right? And so for at the top of each section, I have a swatches stack, and swatches that are inside here are things that are styled only in this section. Now, if I ever created a style that I wanted to use in multiple sections, I would put it inside site styles. Yeah. Okay. But things that are styles that are just for this one section, I put it in a swatches stack at the very top of that section. And another thing that I do is I'm very, for styles, you know, you need to come up with some sort of naming standard, I think, as well for your classes. So that if you see it, you'll know what it is. I'm on the home page currently, right? And this section is the banner section. Okay, that's what I called it. So if you look at all the classes that are used here, it is home banner, home banner, home banner. And then sometimes this is home banner logo, home banner content, right? So that there's no question, even if I had this somewhere else, you know, I have it all organized, but it's very specific to this section, right? So yeah, you know, just some naming standards I think are good. And then, you know, so this is home banner. If we scroll down, here's the getting started section, and here's some swatches that I have just for the getting started section. And inside there, I used pens for various things to kind of organize those a little bit, right? You know, if we scroll down a little bit further, here's the fast and modern section. I only have 2 swatches there, right? But those two swatches were just for that one section, right? Scroll down, here's loved, right? And you see loved has a little bit more, but here I had those, you know, this is, you know, all the swatches for a star. I organized those into pens. Here's for the heart, Here's for a heart comment, right? So, you know, and the love card, which I talked about the love card a little bit last week, right? So, and, you know, and then all those swatches or classes are used only inside this loved by users section, right? I can keep going, right? So here's the no code section. So here I have 2 swatches that I use just in this one section. Keep going. Here is the community section. So here we go. Here's, you know, a little bit more swatches for the community section, right? But these swatches are only used in that one section. So why busy up my site styles with stuff that's only going to be used on this part of my one page?
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that you could do is, I don't have any partials on this page that are used across multiple. I think in my demos I do. So in this demo, if we go to this demo page layout, this is kind of quite an extreme example. Okay, but this is the page. So this demo page layout essentially builds out it's this menu and it's this banner, okay, and then it's the shell for this content area. Okay, so in here I have, you know, I actually have the styles that I use for the site styles for the demo area. And then you know, I have the container and then the wallpaper, and then here's the off canvas with the huge menu and stuff like that. Okay, but while this is an extreme example, if you use partials to build out, let's say for example, let's go back to the homepage. Let's say this section of this web page here. Okay, let's say I wanted to reuse this layout. Okay, and I wanted this same exact blob. Maybe the image would change and this text would change over here. But let's say I wanted this exact layout, this kind of this 2-column layout where I have a blob over here and some text. Okay, let's say I wanted to create that as a reusable thing. Okay, we can do that with a partial, right? So I could create a partial. Here, I guess we can do that, but I don't want to break this project. Hold on. Let me do a save as on this project really quick because I don't want to break it. We'll just call it demo. Okay. Like modo. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's say this container here. Okay, so this container, we want to make a partial out of this, right? So what we can do is let's go ahead and partial that. Okay, and inside here in this partial, unfortunately, this is a picture stack. You can't like unpin up that. So what we'll do is we're gonna get rid of that picture stack, and I'm gonna unpin that area, and then I want to unpin this SVG, unpin the header, and unpin the text. So I want to make sure we always have a SVG header and text, and in this drop down area in this partial, we're always going to drop in a picture stack. Okay, let's go back. So now I have this partial. Okay, but now one thing I need to add in this partial is these swatches. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go back into this partial, and I'm going to put in the swatches for this partial. Okay. So these swatches are now a part of this partial. Okay, because these swatches determine the style of this this background over here, this little blob. Okay. So there we go. So we're going to go back. Okay. So now those swatches are like tied to this partial. So if I go to any other page, hold on, let's give this a name because I probably have a gazillion partials in the project. Call this blob partial. Okay, just for fun. Okay. So I now have blob partial. Okay. And then in here, because I unpinned these, I can be like, hello, right? And then here I can put in, you know, lorem text or something, right? And then I can change this SVG to be whatever I wanted, which I won't do right now. Okay, because we unpinned those. And then this area down here, we can then add in our picture stack, right? Or just to be lazy, I'm gonna just copy this one. There we go. Okay, so if we preview that, oh, it's right here. Okay, that image doesn't work in that area, but you get the idea, right? That image was meant to be on the left side, but you get the idea, right? I have the image, I have my text, I have my blob, right? And then if I were to go onto any other page, right? So let's just go to the bottom of this page, and I go to my partials, and here's my blob partial, and I add that to the page. Guess what? I have my blob partial, and the styles for that blob are there because they travel with the partial because they're inside the partial, right? So that's another use case for these swatches, where if you're creating these reusable little layouts that you've created for yourself, right? And then here I can, you know, edit this and make it be whatever I want, right?
Slow.
You know, so on and so forth, right? And then I can add in, you know, the picture stack over here, right, into this drop zone. So, so yeah, there's a great use of the swatches stack as well, so that you can reuse those styles and tie them to a partial.
So
Does that make
Joe,
sense?
Makes sense.
so Joe, in doing that, you essentially just created a template
100%. Yeah.
via the partial for any future project that you want to create.
Correct. Now partials. Okay.
The only difference is that you would have to switch out the swatches that you created for that particular partial, because those swatches identify to the site styles. Or
okay. So there are differences. There's up here we have partials, externals, and templates. Okay. Let's talk about what the differences are between them, because they are all very same. That you can create these reusable layouts for yourself. Okay. So partials, what is a partial? Partials are specific to a project. They don't travel between projects. Okay, so this blob partial is only ever going to be inside this project file. Okay. Or at least it should be. There's actually currently a bug. If you create a partial when you have two projects open, like the partial might go into another project. It's an open bug, but it shouldn't happen. Okay. But partials are tied to a project. Okay. So this blob partial, and if you make changes to a partial, it will change on every page inside that project. Yeah. Right. So if I go, if I add this to the page, and then I open this partial, and then I make any changes in here, it'll be reflected on all instances of this partial.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a lot of people don't understand this unpinning aspect of partials. You know, that allows you to customize the content of this area so it's unique for each instance of a partial. Does that make sense? Right. So this particular SVG stack, I unpinned this HTML area for it. Okay. Same thing for the header stack and the text stack. Now the settings will always be the same, but I can customize the content.
I hadn't come across
Okay.
it.
Okay. So that's how I was able to, you know, inside here, I can change this text area. Now all the settings related to this text area are hard coded for that partial, right? But I can change the content at least. Okay. Okay, so that's a partial. Partials are unique to they're specific to a project. They don't travel between projects. You can't copy a partial from one project to another, but then at that point they're managed separately. They're not linked at any point. Okay.
Partials
now an external, which is this orange button. Okay, this orange button. These are partials that are global across all of your projects. Now, I say use these extremely sparingly. I actually don't necessarily have a great use case for these, okay? Because I think these can be dangerous. Because if you use an external and then let's say months and months later you edit that external in a different project, and then you go back to the first project and you forgot that you made those changes, and maybe those changes don't make sense in another project. Well, it doesn't matter because it's an external. It's a global change, right? So they're partials across all of your projects. Powerful. I am just personally, I'd rather have it specific for a project. I think that makes sense. But externals are partials. They behave exactly the same as a partial. The only difference is they're global. So if you make a change in one project, it will change that same exact external in all projects.
So, Joe.
Yes.
Would the single use case scenario for using that external for all projects be if you were going to use it for the copyright of the website? Because if you were to change the year, it would change it in all of the projects that you had it in.
Yes.
So that would be like the only single case use that would benefit you.
But then you'd have copyright with the name of the company. So if you're doing it for customers, the name of the company is going to be different, right? So but if you're doing it just for yourself and you have multiple projects for your own products or your own projects, I could see that as potentially being a use case.
All right.
And to what is that external tied to? Is it to the license owner of RapidWeaver tied, or?
Well, it's on your machine. Okay.
It's machine tied.
So if you're curious where all these are stored, so partials are stored inside the project file. Okay. So the actual partials is stored and saved in the project file. Okay. If you in RapidWeaver, you just go to your Command 7 goes to your RapidWeaver add-ons. In the stacks folder, you will see that there is a folder called externals. Okay. Mine is currently empty because I don't use externals. If you were to here, we'll create an external for fun. Okay. Here, I'll create this external right here. I'm going to create an external 21, whatever. Okay. I created external 21. Well, guess what? There's external 21.stack right there. Okay. That's my external. It's saved in the externals folder inside the stacks folder. So that's how these externals are saved globally. Okay.
Okay.
Now, interesting. So next up is templates. What is a template? Okay. A template is a read-only version of an external. Okay. So if we go to templates, actually here we get a little, let's play with this. We'll add this. Actually, let me go to a different project file that has less stuff on the page. All right. So if I go ahead and add this template to the page, you cannot edit a template. Okay. If you double click it, you can convert it to a partial or convert it to an external, but you cannot edit a template. Templates are one-way streets. Once you create one and you exit that template editor, you're done. Okay. It is read-only forever.
So every template file has to be converted to something else in order for it to work. Because once you create it as a template, it's a one-time deal.
Yep. Now, what you could do is you can extract that template. So like here, I extracted that template and it's now all, they're all stacks on the page. I can make all these edits if I want, and then I can go ahead and create a new template. Right. But once I exit this, this template area, so this is now template 1935, right? Once I click back, I can't edit that template anymore. Okay. I can extract it, but I cannot edit it.
So you cannot edit template 1935.
It is done. I cannot edit it.
It's sealed forever.
It's sealed
Just
forever.
like your court record.
Yes. Sort of.
But
And guess what? In Stacks, if you go all the way down, you will see that there is a voila, surprise, the templates folder.
Uh-oh.
And there is my template 1935. Okay. You guys want to learn an advanced tip here? Okay. So if I take this template 1935, I told you guys this is not editable. It's not editable. You cannot edit 1935. That's not necessarily true. All right. So I am going to quit Rapid Weaver right now, though. Okay. And oops. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this template 1935 and I'm going to whoop. I'm going to plop it inside this folder.
And that converts it.
Okay. And let's go. So now I have template 1935. There we go. And if I go to my externals, template 1935 is right there. There we go. And guess what? I can double click on it and oh, interesting. You change that. Oh, or wait, did it? Hold on one second. Let me, because I had a template on there. Hold on, let's delete that. All right. So if I add that to the page. Oh, wow. Interesting. That behavior is different than what it used to be. I haven't done this for a long time, but that is a different behavior. Oh, interesting. But if I double click on it in here, it lets me edit it. This is actually another kind of usability thing. Like you don't have to have a partial or an external on the page to edit it. Okay. So if I go to all my partials that I have in this project, let's say like this page safe partial, right? Or what was that one I created earlier? I don't remember what it was called, blob partial, or I don't even see it there. Okay. So if I double click on this, I can edit a partial just by double clicking on it into the library. Same thing for externals. So if I double click that external, apparently this one was a template as well. Interesting. But if I go here, and if I double click on that template 1935, I can edit it directly here.
But can't I extract an external template to be an external, make the changes and save it as the same or under the same name as the template before, or just override it?
You cannot override it. Both will exist. You'll have to delete the old one.
Mm-hmm.
So this does behave differently than it used to. So I'm not sure. That was probably intended by Isaiah. I'm not sure, but there we go. Don't need that. All right, don't need that. Okay. Here we go. Sneak peek of one of the new Pro templates.
Such a tease, Joe.
When they're coming out then, Joe? When they're coming out then?
I do not have an ETA. There's a lot of work to be done on them.
You just got to catch up, haven't you?
I wasn't even planning on leaking any of that stuff today. I really was trying to be good with that, and I was going to surprise everyone with them. But me, I just can't keep shut. I can't shut myself up. Can't. I like sharing stuff.
Yeah, true, right.
Joe, is there any time for a short question?
Sure.
When I open your demo project, there are some stacks which I don't have installed. And I don't know which ones they are, because if I click on
there's
that
currently a bug
stack,
in Stacks. There's a bug in Stacks. It should, there's a button that says, get info about the stack that's missing. And that doesn't link to the stack any longer. It used to, it's a bug. Isaiah should be fixing it soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was quick.
What is in the closet working on?
I'm sorry, say that again?
That's what he's in the closet working on.
Yes, exactly. Hopefully that's one of the bugs he's going to fix. Yes.
How many of these extra stacks are in there?
Extra, what do you mean extra stacks?
Stacks that don't come with Foundation 6.
Well, he's saying, I mean, if he opens up some demo projects, sometimes I'll build a demo project and, it has maybe some stacks that you might not have installed. I don't know what those are, right? It's just that, because I give these projects out for your benefit, just as a nicety. And, I might use a stack or two that, inside them. I don't know exactly how many or what projects, but, I could just, add any stack that I want just to demo something, and you might not have it installed. Like, for example, here's a perfect example, the foundation demo project, the foundationstacks.com/demo. I give that project file out. In the header, I use wallpaper and quick flip. Neither of those are Foundation 6 stacks. Again, I use those to build that web page. I was just giving the project file as a, hey, here, you can have the exact project file that I used. I used those other stacks that weren't included, right? So if you didn't have those stacks, you would see the stack missing alert inside edit mode, because if you don't have wallpaper or quick flip. So as of right now, there's the bug. You wouldn't know what those stacks were. Hopefully Isaiah will get that. To be honest, until that bug surfaced, like, I don't know, it was like a month ago, I thought no one ever really cared about that stuff. But now people always like, what is this? Like, so, I guess people really did use that. So.
Yeah, I think people really did care. I remember all the way back in Foundation 1 that I had to purchase, I think, letterpress and jack and some other.
I used some of those in some of my other projects. Yeah, so that missing stack thing. Again, I didn't think it was really useful. I'm like, but until it was broken, I definitely didn't realize how many people used that. So
it's a good way to make extra money.
You know what? I'll be perfectly honest. That wasn't the intent of that. But yeah, it does work, I guess. I mean, it does kind of spread the word of, hey, there's this other cool stack. You can kind of see what I used to build this thing, but yeah, that wasn't the original purpose of it.
Joe, can I just raise one thing on TCMS?
Yes.
I'm still getting a bit of a problem in that sometimes when I'm actually adding a page, an entry in my blog, if I choose, if I have a header in not a header, the top line, I enter it, put a carriage return in to go to the next line, another carriage return to go to the next line. If I then go back to the top line and make that bold, it then automatically makes the third line bold as well.
Inside admin core, do you have, there is a setting called, hold on, I think it's called line breaks or something like that.
What was even more interesting is when I entered a hyperlink, it applied the hyperlink to the whole page.
Oh wow, crazy.
Yes, quite.
In
Well, then let's go.
admin core HipWig, there is a setting for on enter key.
All right. Hang on. Just.
It's either paragraph or line break. I would recommend paragraph.
This is. Oh God. Yes. Right. Okay.
So in admin core.
Right. Okay. I'll see if I can find that. Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Here, I'll just to share so you guys can see. So inside admin core, if you scroll down to the HipWig settings, on enter key, make sure it's set to paragraph. Maybe paragraph is the default value, but maybe you changed it for some reason to line break instead. I'm not sure, but give it a shot.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Joe, is there a way to capture in Foundation forms all the entries that clients do or customers do onto, let's say, Google Sheets?
So you want to save forms to Google Sheets? Yes, that's possible. You'd have to use something like Zapier, though. I have a live stream on how to integrate Foundation 6 forms into Zapier, and that's what you would need to do.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, I have got it on paragraph.
Same question. I think, would that be possible also to save the data in a form into a local database?
That's not possible right now. It's something I do plan on adding actually to whenever I do ship the next version of Post Office. I plan on adding that ability via Post Office.
Okay. I had a different question on Total CMS. I wrote you because I had a problem for a top-level domain or subdomain. So when I used Total CMS, I had two different domains, one for development and the other one for production.
Okay.
But you told me that in that case, I should have two different licenses. But if I can use...
So if it's the same domain, you
No,
can use
it's
the same
not the
license.
same domain. No, two different, completely two different
two
domains.
different domains. Yes, then you need two
But
different licenses, correct.
If I use a top-level domain, then I can use the same license on the subdomain. Is that correct?
Correct. So like if you do, one for, myclient.com, the same license can be applied to development.myclient.com.
Okay, good.
Okay. But what a lot of web designers do is, let's say on Weaver Space, let's say I'm doing, client work off the Weaver Space, and that's my company name. I can do sandbox.weaverspace. A lot of people will, or myclient.weaverspace. And, basically I'll use my Total CMS license from my domain on all my client domains, subdomains as I'm developing for them. Right.
I see.
So like, I'll develop, I'll create a subdomain for every new project that I do for a client. And then on that, I'll use my license for my domain, right? And then once their site's done, I then, get a license for their production domain. And at that point, I, I deploy it with theirs. Does that make sense?
That's exactly what I'm planning, yes.
Yes. So yes, that's what a lot of people that do a lot of websites, that's the workflow that they do.
Okay, good. Thank you.
No problem. And I definitely recommend developing a Total CMS site under a subdomain rather than a subfolder of a website. You will save yourself a lot of headaches, and you will save me from a lot of headaches trying to help you get it working. So it's possible to get it working, but like it's like the telephone games, like me trying to tell you to tell your host something, and then their host tells you to tell me something, and it always gets lost in translation and stuff. Just use a subdomain.
It's a never-ending story. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bad enough when it's English and American, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You and your colorful language. Colorful. Say colorful.
No, let's calm down now. Calm down. Can I share my screen briefly, Joe, and see if if you can see what the problem is here? Then
sure.
There's my admin call.
Okay. Yep. That looks as I would expect it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bugger.
Yep. I can try to replicate that. So it only happens if you hit return, and then you go up, and then you try to make something bold.
But it also happens when I've. It doesn't always happen. That's the trouble. I'm not quite sure why.
Just curious. Are you pasting things into the?
No, I'm dictating into it. And then I'm adding a hyperlink in. On occasions, I'm putting a hyperlink in on a word, and then suddenly that goes to the whole of the rest of the page, which is
strange. Now that's really weird.
Yeah, I then have to go through every paragraph to delete that hyperlink.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'll try to replicate that, and maybe we can look at it again on Friday.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I might. Yes, I've got granddaughter on Friday, so.
Oh, okay. Well, then we can do it next week.
Iffy next Friday.
Sure. Perfect. No problem.
But thanks for that.
My pleasure. Cool. Well, any other questions, guys? Else we can call it a day. That was a long one, another 2-hour one. Oh man.
You're gonna get a lot of flack on the Reaver.
People aren't gonna watch this one.
Yeah, they're gonna get a lot of flack, man.
I could say whatever I want right now because they've all left.
Exactly. Exactly.
You'd be very quiet, Chris.
Like a regular Friday hangout.
Yeah,
quite.
Everyone, Chris released an update to one of his projects to Cason today, right? Or was it yesterday? Yesterday. Yeah, so check that out.
Oh, right.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Chris.
Cool. Well, take care, everyone. Hopefully, we'll see a lot of you on Friday. Else, we'll see the rest of you next week.
Cheers. Good to
take
see you.
care. Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Cheers.